guys, welcome back. How are you doing? Today I am introducing you to a very long awaited reading vlog. My freaking goodness. A slump hit me. What can I say? Life happened. And I started this video back in June during the amazing readathon hosted by Brie over at the Paws in a Book. And my goal was to have it up in June because it's her 2025 like reading goal challenge bingo board, and I was like, oh, how fun during her readathon to finish the thing because I had 5 squares left. Luckily it's a whole year-long challenge, but it didn't quite come out at the time that I thought it would. Here we are 3 months later and I'm finally done with this video. Wow! In this I will be completing the bingo board that Brie has set out. This is what I have read so far. I have 5 things left that I need to read, which I'm going to do with you guys in this video. I've got some anticipated releases that are very exciting, new releases I haven't heard of before, and then a backlist or 2, maybe just 1 backlist. Yeah, 1 backlist. And the rest are all new releases that I've been excited for or recently were on my radar, and I'm so excited to finally share this experience with you. With all of that said, let's jump into the actual reading vlog where I complete and finish 5 books to finish up the 25 and 25 reading challenge that Brie has created. Yay! Unfortunately, I have corrupted new camera, new problems. Something went wrong with the footage of my review for Kings of the Wild, so here we are. I'm re-reviewing it just after taking off all of my makeup, whatever. Kings of the Wild is a very fun, like, retired D&D campaign coming back together for a final hurrah. And basically one of the mercenary members has a daughter who got into shenanigans and D&D party of her own and went on an adventure, and now the dads are going to go save the day. A lot of this is not quite meandering, but collecting them like Pokemon, like going to each member of the party and being like, hey, let's go on a hurrah, like let's get this party back in business, baby, like let's do it. And it's very funny, it's very charming, very high fantasy. You get to see a lot of different classic D&D characters like kobolds and stuff, and it is a lot of fun. I do think that it could, for my personal preference, for like my first high epic fantasy in a while, I do think it could have been a little bit shorter. I understand that like if you're really getting it on with these characters, like that is like primarily the focus is them, but they get into hijinks and shenanigans throughout and just like silly little incidences. But I do like this. It's like an adult version of my current favorite series, the Thrown in the Dark Villains and Virtuous series. It's kind of like an adult version of that, but based in like a smidge more realism, but it has the similar like shenanigans of just like getting up to no good, but you're still like trying to stay on track for a mission. I had a lot of fun with this. It was a blast to read. I do recommend it highly. I do want to read the Daughters book, which I don't know if it's a prequel or a sequel. Yeah, I'm interested in that. There's apparently at some point going to be a 3rd book, so I'm intrigued about that as well. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I will definitely like recommend this to my partner and be like, hey, you should read this one because I think it's good. I think it's a fun fantasy. I just don't really have, unfortunately, like a lot of thoughts about it. Like it was just like a very solid read, and I understand why everybody likes it so much, why it's so hyped, but it also didn't do anything so crazy or so wild or like say anything so prolific or stand outish. Like nothing is going to remain in this brain forever, you know? Like it happened and then it was over. And so it's not like a story that's going to stick with me long term. I'm going to remember the enjoyable fun moments that I had with it and that it made me feel good, and then I'm gonna kind of just like move on with my life. But I am certainly happy to have finally read it because I had heard so many great things, and it helped kind of dip my toe back into like high fantasy books, which now I'm a little bit more eager to pick a few up. I've got a couple planned hopefully for the rest of the year, and I don't get so out of practice because there is something to be said about reading like fantasy versus high or epic fantasy, where like there's just a little bit more world building going on and more things to focus on, and like you have a lot more characters that you have to keep straight. That was something that I struggled with Kings of the Wild because I just listened to the audiobook, and you have one narrator who does a fantastic job. Like he gives the lizard people really fun voices. Like overall I think he does well, but when you're just listening to him and a bunch of male cast of characters, there are definitely moments where you're like, this is the, and he's the, and like getting them a little bit crossed. Anyway, I think that if I get the chance to read this again, I would, but it's not one that I like am itching to get back to anytime soon. I think I got what I needed from it. It was fun. I think that I landed on 4 stars. I think maybe 3.5. There's definitely, like, it's definitely for men. Like, there's definitely some moments where you're like, yeah, that's humor that I think a man would typically do, you know? But other than that, it's got some dad jokes in it. They're all, like, a much older group of guys getting back together to, like, do mercenary work, which is not, like, something they've done in a long time. Like, they're fathers now. And I do think that that was a fun angle on this, because often, even, like, a D&D campaign, like, you're usually playing a 20-something, maybe 30-something-year-old. And so having, like, proper fathers who had, like, gained weight and stopped really training, I think was a fun twist for it. I did like all of the characters. They felt very, well, I don't know. Most of them stood out. I think we got our main guy, Clay, who is a father and, like, did not want to do this compared to the other members of the band who were, like, so eager to get back into it. And so you've got Clay, who's, like, the leader, the fighter, whatever. You've got Gabe, whose daughter is missing. And then you've got Moog, who's probably my favorite. He's the wizard mage character. And then there was the king, and then I think they, like, grabbed 2 more people. And I truly, like, once so many characters got introduced, because we're going on all of these side quests and we're meeting so many people and, like, different paths, I was definitely getting lost with the characters. I think physically reading along would have been helpful to keep all the character names in my mind correctly. But besides that, I had a lot of fun. I think it was really enjoyable overall. I definitely recommend. I think it's the perfect book to match the Pantone for this year, the, like, Mocha Moose. I don't know if I could find another brown book that could match it so well. Like, I think this was the perfect option, the chef's kiss. I would be very interested to see what other people pick for this, because it's a very specific shade of brown. Stay tuned for my best of 2025, according to Goodreads so far, vlogs, because that is, like, color coded to be the Pantone color every year. So when you see the graphic for that, you'll go, oh yeah, I'm very familiar with that color. They're, I would say, pretty close, pretty good. I will count this as a major win on my part. I enjoyed this book, which was great. I highly recommend the audiobook. It was a fantastic experience. Great. Yeah, next thing I should read, I guess it depends on Tar, because a lot of these are slotting in for the Amazing Readathon. We will see where the legs take us. If you aren't familiar with what the Amazing Readathon is, and I just tell you that the legs are controlling my reading, it doesn't make any sense. But here we are. Let the legs control my reading, okay? Next, picking up Watermoon, which I'm very excited about. This is kind of pitched as, like, a Studio Ghibli type of story, and honestly, I think this would probably make a great anime movie, like a Ghibli movie, even if the reviews for this book aren't great. I wanted to read this because of the prompt for the Amazing Readathon of low ratings, but, like, a book you still hope that you'll like or want to like, but isn't super loved. And this one has not been getting great reviews, great ratings in general. A lot of people are having issues with the plot and the direction that the story heads and the romance in this, which I'm not necessarily against insta-love, so it might work for me. We'll have to wait and see. I know that it takes place in a pawn shop for regrets, but it's, like, kind of hidden. You have to, like, really be needing it at the right time to stumble across it. It's a daughter and father, and the father goes missing. So the daughter's like, I gotta go find my dad. I gotta go find, like, the missing stuff or whatever. And this man stumbles into the shop and decides he's gonna help her. And I guess they, like, instantly fall in love and go on this journey. And I guess that's not really what people want. I think people wanted maybe a little bit more of a cozier book. But the magic in this really intrigues me. Like, you can transport through puddles, I guess, and, like, the little, like, paper boats you can transport through. Like, there's just something about it that sounds really charming with the magic, and I'm really hoping that the atmosphere and world building can kind of carry me away with the story. And even if I don't necessarily love the romance and the insta love and the characters together themselves, like, maybe the world can carry. I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, this won't take me too terribly long. It's not a super long book, but I am a little bit hesitant about it. It's almost 400 pages, yikes. We will see how this goes, but I just want to let you know that I finished a book I lost in corrupted footage somehow, and now I'm starting the next book. So that's where we're at. We're on a really good track with this video. Everything's going swell. Hello, I took today off of work. I'm mentally going through it. I don't really talk so much about, honestly, my personal life in general. on the internet as much as I used to. I was pretty open about my mental health struggles and when things were going on behind the scenes or crazy life stuff happening. Like, I was a little bit more open to talking about stuff, and I never got backlash from it. Honestly, more people than not would be like, thank you for talking about it. It's nice to like not feel alone. And I was like, great, I'm doing good. And then I just kind of stopped talking about it, either out of like my own protection and security of just like keeping something, you know, a little tight, or just not having the energy to put words to feelings. But yeah, no, today mentally not thriving, kind of going through it, have been on and off for like a week or two. That's just part of summer for me. The seasonal depression is constant. But anyways, it's summer and I'm definitely feeling the like don't want to do anything, but knowing that I also would like to do everything, and just not having the energy source to do stuff, but also feeling bad about everything that I'm not doing. And it's just a mess, a cycle, a terrible place to be. I took today off work, and my like plan with that was, I was like, okay, well, if I'm taking the day off work, then I have to still work. I have to do YouTube work. Like, I need to film and edit a video, still be responsible, read a lot because I need to do reading. And so I have started Waterman. I listened to 5% of the audiobook last night just to kind of get my foot into the door and ease into it while I was going to bed. And then I literally have been mostly listening to this. It's not, I don't know. It's everything everybody has really said. It's not super gripping. I'm not like jumping out of my seat. I'm a quarter of the way through and we're getting to know these characters, and the fact that they're teaming up so quickly, it's just like, why? But why though? But I made it to part 2. So I thought now would be probably the right time to check in before I got too far into this. So I took a pause. I read along to like 30 pages and then just continued listening more to the audiobook. I'm almost 100 pages in, so I feel like I have a decent idea of what's going on. So in this, we're following Hana, whose father has gone missing from the pawn shop the day after his retirement. Fun thing about this is that's got that Studio Ghibli like whimsy of the pawn shop is actually a place where you can sell your regrets and kind of let go of things that might be holding you back because of past mistakes or errors. Similar to the Midnight Library, if you will, is usually just like you do it and then you're done and you move on with your life. And so this guy walks in, Keshin, and he's like, haha, just got to Tokyo or Japan, and I would like to have a bowl of ramen, because the whole thing about this is only the people who need the pawn shop can stumble into it, but it's kind of disguised around a ramen shop. Like, I think there is actually a ramen shop, but if you walk into the ramen shop, if you actually need a pawn shop, you end up there instead. So he shows up on her doorstep after she wakes up to this incident, and immediately he's like, yeah, no, I was here because I have like a purpose, but actually finding your dad and apparently maybe your mother is more important. And so he just like drops everything and goes to help her. Like, no questions asked. He's so curious. Like, obviously it is really interesting, the magic of it all. They're teleporting and transporting through puddles, and I love the whimsy magical side of this a lot. I think that's really unique and cool. But he just, yeah, no, I will get my fates tattooed on my body to find your mom. Sorry, I understand like the angle of him being an academic and trying to find his life's purpose and wanting to know the ins and outs of science, and everything that he's thought he knew about science is now not true because now you can teleport through puddles. I get the intrigue of him wanting to like figure it out, but at the same time, that's a lot for your brain to take in at one moment. And he's just like, yep, this is the path that I'm taking. Like, we are doing this. And I'm like, I don't know about that. It seems a little too soon, a little too quickly for that kind of development. I know there's going to be a romance between them. And so I also feel a little bit hesitant already about that, because I'm just like, what's his intentions? Why is she trusting him? Maybe he's not to be trusted, actually. But yeah, I have made a dent. I'm rewarding myself with watching YouTube for making some reading progress. I feel like that's kind of where I need to be at this moment, of like, listen to an audiobook or read some of the book and then like do something else as a treat. I might play some Sims later while I listen to the audiobook. I'm starting like 3 of the books for this video all around the same time. So I'm not doing myself the best service, but who cares? I might play some Sims. I'm gonna have caffeine, so that should help. Crazy enough, I know. Caffeine should help. I think I'm gonna have some lunch, even if I don't feel hungry. I know eating is important. I'm gonna hydrate because it's hot and it's summer, everybody should drink more water, and I will get more reading done. With that, we're done. I have finished. Yes, I have finished Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambao. I think this is as fine as everybody says. I don't think it's quite as bad, like 2-star bad. I think it was simply just fine. I think luckily being able to see so many reviews come in, because this had a lot more hype than I initially had known before picking up the Book of the Month copy. Seeing everybody's reviews about what we all kind of hoped this would be, of like a pawn shop before the coffee gets cold type of story, very Studio Ghibli-esque. We get like a blend of that and a lot more action. It's more of a quest. They're going place to place to place to place to place. They're on the hunt. They're trying to quest, but there's also just like a lot of unnecessary plot points. I understand like how this is like borderline cozy, but I agree with a lot of the complaints. I think one of the reviews I had seen previously was talking about how like there's just not enough substance in this, and I completely agree with that. I think that this is lovely for the world building. I think it is lovely for the magic, which is part of the world building. I would say those are like the best parts of it though, and the rest of it, the romance, the characters, just needed more oomph. They were just lacking something. They were just missing things. And so I don't know. It was fine. It was a nice listen. As you saw, I started playing The Sims. I created a sim, and I'm still building said house. It's now 7 p.m. I have been doing this for quite some time, basically the whole like 3 hours I had left of this. So that's cool. That's fun. I'm having a good time. Don't get me wrong. Also, like, I don't know how many of you guys play The Sims or like watch Sims content, but there's been news about the new expansion pack for July, Enchanted by Nature. Hot take, I'm not really interested in fairies. I don't really like the early access content that I have seen so far. The pack features aren't really like, I don't really need an apothecary. I have the outdoor retreat. I don't really need fairies. I don't play with the cults that often. I think they're beautiful. I'm excited to have them just for the novelty, but I'm disappointed so far. I will get the pack eventually because I have all of them. I'm crazy, I know. But I do love The Sims, but this is, I think, like the first pack in a while that I just am not that interested in. I don't really like the build buy, which is like my jam in The Sims. So yeah, hot take, a little disappointed about that, but who knows, maybe it'll wow me once it actually does come out. But for now, I'm like, ooh. Anyways, I feel the same about this book. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel the same. Like, the hype around this was real. Everyone was so excited for this. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I picked this for my beautiful cover buy option because I just love this cover so much. I picked it up from Book of the Month, which at least it's going towards my goal because I'm not doing great with Book of the Month goals, mostly because I'm not buying a lot. But that's another issue for another topic another day. She's a beautiful, stunning cover. I'm happy to have read this. I obviously have a physical copy. I also have 2 special edition copies, so I'm glad that I've read it. I will probably unhaul 2 of my 3 copies. I'll probably keep the prettiest one because I think this is a 3-star. I did not hate it. I did not have a bad time. I think my expectations from all of the reviews put me in a really good position to like know that I'm expecting more of a journey and a quest and an adventure. I could really sink my teeth into the magic and the portal magic, especially of just like going to these very whimsical, beautiful places. Would this make a great Studio Ghibli movie? Absolutely. If he comes out of retirement and decides that he wants another story, this I think would translate beautifully in an animated Japanese film. Like, I think it would be stunning. I think the night market would look so cool. I think this could translate well. If that ever happened, I would definitely check it out. But as a book on its own, I don't know. The romance was quite unnecessary and wishy-washy at best. The characters themselves just did not have any redeeming qualities, or it's not even that they were unlikable. They were just bland. There just wasn't enough to them. I don't mind a book with unlikable characters, but there just wasn't a lot of point to them. The ending was cute, but the climax, I suppose, was almost infuriating. I was like, this is so I was like not vibing with it, but I think it wraps up nicely. I think that there were some quotes and some writing styles that I did pick out, and I was like, those are really nice. I will give it that. If I didn't feel like I was going to be giving specifically like this copy and another copy away, I probably would have considered tabbing and maybe even highlighting a little bit because I did like the writing. I won't say that I completely swear off this author in the future, but this one was exactly how I expected it to go. Just a mid 3-star. Happy to have read it. Happy to have it off my shelf. Happy to make progress on my physical reads, because that's a goal this year, is to continue not only physically reading, but just reading off my shelves a little bit. Buy a lot of books. There's this... We're painting my house, and there's paint on the window, and it looks like just a giant caterpillar, and it stresses me out every time. Besides all that, yes, I've finished that, and so great. Now, I'm going to talk about the next book, because I've already started it, and I'm going to, well, let's be honest, I actually am rewatching Wicked right now. So I'm going to watch Wicked for a little bit, because whilst, like, the last 40 minutes of Watermoon, I could not get Wicked and Hamilton songs out of my noggin, and I was like, okay, treat myself. It's long. I'll probably finish it, but we'll see. I really just kind of want to like bop along to some songs while I finish this up. But back to reading plans. I think I'm going to switch over and finish The Elf Witch, which I started when we were painting the house. I was helping Austin paint the house and got sunburnt, and it was a terrible time. Still sort of suffering. But we were painting and listening to our own things because we're in the backyard. It's loud. It's noisy. And I thought it would be fun to start an audiobook for this video and then just proceed not to talk to you guys about it. I'm 44% into The Elf Witch by Jacqueline Gilmore, an award-winning author. This is a self-published romantasy from what I understand, and I got this because it was a part of the Libro FM ALC, and so I was like, I'll check that out. I like romantasy, why not? And it's nothing special, but not in a derogatory way. Like, it is similar to The Servant of Earth, which I did enjoy. I gave that 4 stars. I like simple romantasy still. I really just enjoy girl meets guy, world build bad, have to come together, save world. The simple romantasy, it still works for me. I don't think I've read too much. I think that if there's enough creative liberties, like Servant of Earth, she's not actually participating in the trials, she's assisting in them, and I love just like that take alone. I was like, revolutionary. This is so great. Even though it's, again, nothing crazy special. I did have my own complaints. That was in a different vlog. We're not going to talk about it. With The Elf Witch, it is fine. I like the narrator. It is forgettable, which is unfortunate. So it's been a couple days since I started it, and the starting point of the book, Grandma's being executed for being a witch and doing witchcraft, because witch magic is like sort of outlawed, but also not. Like, the king, queen have like really tight rules about magic and who can access it, and if you're working for the crown or not. And so Grandma gets executed right off the bat. We know that our main girl, who has siblings, also has a secret. She's not the same as her siblings. What does that mean? So we've got that premise of just like the setup where we're getting to know the characters, and because of this incident with the grandma and this other dude, the crown is now coming for anybody who has more than 5 runes. So basically, witches in this world have different sigil type tattoos on them that are very personal. You don't typically share them, but it's the type of magic you have access to. So anybody who is 5 or more needs to go take the test, and if you pass the test, many don't make it, they, die. But if you end up passing, you're going to be working for the royal family and do that for them. And so our main character has 3, but she also has big secret. Something's going on with her. And so she's like, you know what? My sister has 5, but she won't survive this challenge whatsoever. So she decides to take her place, use her cool magic. She's got scary blood magic almost. And she's like, I'll take your place. I'll do the test. Like, I've got this. And so they kind of have like a swap placing situation. And there's royals, there's other people that are taking the exams. So it's almost like an academy, but really you're not getting a lot of that. You're getting a lot of the politicking. She met a girl, a pixie, I think. And this pixie was like, I guess we're going to be allies, reluctant allies. And so they kind of become somewhat friends. And this somewhat friend, pixie, is like, you should start sleeping with this guy. So she does. She starts sleeping with this guy. She makes a friendship with him. He's a prince. They have a pact. They make an agreement, a bargain, whatever. But she gets played. She gets played so hard. And now she's in a different situation with a different set of brothers who are also princes. I'm like having a little bit of a hard time wrapping my brain around all of the politics and all of the world building. When I'm in it, it's fun. When I'm out of it, it's forgettable. It's mediocre. It's simply fine. I haven't seen great reviews. I do think a lot of people probably pick this up because of Libro FM. So I want to give it a fair shot. and I am also easy to please sometimes, and I just need a win. I have not been reading great books lately, and I just want something to distract me, have a good time. So I'm going to continue. I have 2 hours and 12 minutes left, which that's not very long. That's shorter than Wicked. It's shorter than Wicked. So my plan, I think, is watch some Wicked, sing along, finish this house, and then hopefully by the time halfway through, hopefully the house will be done before Wicked is over. But I can boop bop around a little bit because I've seen it so many times that I will listen to The Elf Witch, and then I might just like, oh no, I need to read, I have to start Iron Gold tonight because I have to finish just in case the live show happens when it's supposed to. I need to be ready. I have time though. It's only 7:11. It's only 7 p.m. I have plenty of time. So that's kind of my game plan. I'm going to keep simming because I'm having a lot of fun building this little house and doing all the things. And I will listen to The Elf Witch and let you know how it goes, how I feel by the end. Oh, that's right. This was maybe the hardest square for me to find something to fit. But once I saw this on Libro FM, I was like, you betcha. So this is for the comped square, which comp title is when you compare one book to previous books that have been out from other authors, to be like, oh, if you enjoyed this really popular book, you might like my book, because there's some type of similarity. This was comped to One Dark Window and Blood and Ash, which I've not read Blood and Ash, so I can't really tell you how similar they are. But the similarities to One Dark Window, sorry, hard comp title. I picked this up partly because I was like, oh god, I love One Dark Window. I love the card magic. I love the gothic mist of it all. I just love the vibes and atmosphere so much. This does not have the vibes and atmosphere. A haunting slow burn romantasy debut following a once magicless elf as she inherits forbidden dark powers, forcing her into deadly trials against ruthless witches, a perilous alliance with a duplicitous prince, and unimaginable sacrifices to protect her realm from collapse. I wouldn't really say that we've even started the trials that much. So I don't know where we're headed or how much is actually going to get done, but we do have the dark magic powers, which I do find interesting. I haven't seen a lot of the deadly trials, would like some more of that, and we have made an alliance with a prince. So I am excited to see where this could go. I think right now it's probably sitting at a 3, but depending on how it ends, it could definitely get bumped up higher. I don't think it would get lower than a 3 though. I don't think it's bad. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll let you know how my Sims house goes. I'll see you later. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? I feel my sanity slipping from my grasp, but it's okay. I am checking in with you guys because I finished last night closer to midnight than I had intentionally planned, but that's okay. I finished The Elf Witch. Was fine. It was good. It's meant to be like an enemies to lovers. She has a kind of sort of romantic partner throughout, like a friends with benefits type of thing, but they have like a bargain. They're kind of working together. And they have a similar agenda, but still like an underlying potential betrayal going on. But then the climax of the book happens and so much gets shifted by that point, and everything is kind of like turned on its head. But we're introduced to a new, and I think like the official romantic lead, and he just sucks. He's so mean to her. He berates her and basically slut shames her so bad, even though he himself sleeps around a lot. So it's just like really hypocritical, and the word choicing is gross, and I don't think there's a way in hell I could come to like him in any way, shape, or form. And so that really put a downer on like this being a romantasy. Like there is some smut, but not really. But there's a lot of lust between the two of them, and there's like this I hate you kind of attraction, but because of the sort of bond they have bargained to have, there is like more going on with them. And so I understand her complex feelings towards him, but me, outside of this romantic relationship, because it's in third person, I didn't feel connected to him in any way. He was introduced later and was never okay, was never nice, but was fine, at least in the middle. But by the end, he was just the worst. He was just so mean to her, would berate her in the worst way, use some of the worst names for her, all because she slept with another guy, like consistently just one guy, and was just like horrible about it. And so I didn't like that. So I don't know if I'll continue with the series, to be honest. There's intrigue when it comes to like the politics of the world. I think the world is fascinating. I wish we had more trials and just overall academic competitions, but I didn't hate everything about this. It was just really the end where we're like, oh, this is meant to be my romantic interest and lead. I will never be able to like have a book boyfriend out of him. He is just so vile. And I know that's kind of the point. It's like you want an enemies to lovers where they are really enemies. They hate each other. They're so mean. And then they come around, blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't know. I don't know if this author can pull that off. Because even with like one of my favorite books, The Crowns of Oaths and Curses by Jay Bree, he calls her it. Like literally he thinks that she, a witch, is just scum of the earth because of the wars happening, that all witches are just inherently evil. And so he has to overcome a lot of prejudice. But this is different because he's just being rude because he has a thing for her, but she had a thing with a different guy. And so because he also has a thing with many different women, it's just hypocritical and gross. I don't know. There's nothing more to say there. I think I'm just gonna leave it at 3 stars. The ending really makes me want to drop it to a 2, I'll be honest. But that's just not fair to the whole book entirely. But it really was off-putting and really jaded me. So I don't know if I'll continue. I don't know if I really want to see more enemies with benefits. I don't know if I really want that, you know? So yeah, that's my final thoughts, I suppose. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know? I might not read anything today at work for this video, so I'll see you guys either tonight when I pick something up or tomorrow on my day off. Thank God. So I'll check in with you guys a little bit later when I have more to say and plans. Okay, if you can hear my dishwasher, I'm so sorry. I know I said that the next book I was going to read was going to be Watermoon, and I did have plans to start this yesterday, but that just sort of didn't happen. And then last night, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be so fun to start something different? So here we are. So last night, I, on a whim, started the arc for the Jessid Crown. I always want to say the Jasad heir because I'm an American lad, and so what can you do? But it's Jessid. I feel like I'm saying it wrong still, but I watched the pronunciation so many times, so I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I've started the sequel, and listen, I know this year has been rough in terms of sequels for duologies, sequels for trilogies. I've just been disappointed. Left, right, center. They've all kind of fallen flat. And yet here we are with my 5-star prediction square. And I have started. I am now 15%. And when I tell you, my plan today was to like pre-record a couple videos, maybe get some stuff done. I have a family get together at 3. It's 10:30. I have time. I'm also so sunburned. Oh God. So I'm in a lot of pain. Today sucks. It's summer officially, but I have plans tonight with my family. And then after my family dinner, we're doing game night with our friends. We're playing Blades in the Dark. This is our 3rd official session, not including session 0. So I'm very excited for that. I think my character is going to come back. She was lost last time. I had to play a different character. It was a whole thing. I love my characters so much. So I have a lot of things going on today. Tomorrow, not so much. I already have my video for tomorrow done, which feels really good. So I don't feel as overwhelmed and stressed for tomorrow. I am supposed to go back to work Monday. I don't know if I really want to, though. I really should. I'm taking a lot of time off this month, but I don't want to. I'm rambling a whole lot, but needless to say, I have 2 days, basically, to get some stuff done, and Austin is going to be out of town tomorrow, so I have more time to do things tomorrow as well, so I can get more reading done tomorrow is basically what I'm saying. So today, I do think I'm going to spend a little bit more time. I don't know how much further I'm going to get. I'm reading this faster than I thought. I am a slow reader. It takes me a while. I have spent the last 2 hours reading, like, what would that be? Math. 7%? So at that track, I'm not going to finish this, like, super speedy quick, but I'm having a really good time. I wasn't sure if, when I started this was not the book planned for this video, but we got to a point with a side character. We're getting more POVs, which I think is really interesting because in this, so, okay, Samantha, back up. Let me tell you what the first book, The Jessid Heir, is about. So in that, we are following a character named Sylvia. She is living in a very small village with her 2 friends, Sepha and Merrick, and they're just kind of like living their life. She's working, she's helping with the orphanage, she herself is an orphan. She's kind of, just trying to survive, but she has her little found family who I love and adore. I would kill for them. One thing we know is she might be an heir, as the title might give away a little bit. And she also has magic. And after one slippery slope of an incident, she kind of gets discovered. And a different kingdom, the kingdom of, I should know this, I've read the word like 5 times. Basically, this other kingdom has decided that they want Sylvia as their champion for like this thing. There's these 4 kingdoms, magic is outlawed, nobody can have it, and there's one kingdom who has fallen, that just said kingdom. There's these kingdoms and they do like this tournament competition, and so they're basically train montage. We're gonna teach Sylvia how to be prepared for the competition. And the competition is not like a huge part of the book. It really is like the ending and the catalyst to what is up next. But I do think that it's so well-rounded. I nearly cried. I might have cried a little bit, but like I almost broke down. It was so impactful. I loved the first book so much. It was one of my favorite reads. It is one of my favorite books, I think, of all time. It might be in my top 10. That sounds crazy to say. I'm never confident in my like solidified top 10, but I really loved it so much. And I was very heavily contemplating reading it before picking this up just to make sure I wasn't forgetting or missing anything. But, oh no, I found a spider. God. Ugh. They're everywhere. I hate the summer. I was thinking about doing a reread before jumping into this because I remember most things pretty clear, but the end I was a little bit like, what really happened? And so there might still be a chance that I pick up the audiobook for the first book, but it feels a little silly to read them out of order. But I might pick it up and just like listen to the end and refresh myself. But at the same time, since starting this, getting 15% in, we have had 3 POVs, which if I remember correctly, the first book only had 1, maybe 2. I don't think so. I think it was just 1. For most of it. I think we just had Sylvia's perspective. In this, we have more perspectives, and we start with Aaron, who is the king who picked Sylvia to be his champion. And there is a little bit of romance. Now, other tea. So, I think it was 2023 when it came out, and it was put in the romantasy category for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I don't think I'd go so far as to say that was romantasy. It was a heavily fantasy with a romantic subplot where they do pine after each other and there's good banter and they think about each other quite often, but it's not like romantic. It's not like these books where it's like, oh, you know what you're getting into. It's like primarily about the couple. Like this is about so much more than just the couple. This is my kind of romantasy though. I love when the fantasy world really takes over and there's so much plot going on, but you still have just the most tender and sweetest moments between the characters. Oh, I love it so much. So, yes. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? I don't remember anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't go into it expecting like full romantasy, but it does shift a lot by the end. And it's also like, I guess you could say maybe like a slow burn, but then like also enemies to lovers, but like also reluctant allies, but also not really lovers. Like there's not enough going on there because it's such a slow burn. And because of how the book ends, like, the characters have been separated and something is going on. And I can't spoil anything. I won't be spoiling anything about this book, don't worry. I'm just going to give you my unfiltered thoughts, really. But I'm having a blast. I am so excited. We start the first chapter with Aaron, who is the prince. Prince? Yeah, I think his dad is still alive, so I think he's still a prince. And then we get Sylvia, and now we've had a chapter from Setha. And I just really love that we're seeing all of them and, like, where they're at. And I'm so excited for when they're going to find each other, or if they're going to find each other. I'm not really sure where, like, this book is headed. I have not read the synopsis. I don't know really anything more than how the book ended and where they are now, But it picks up pretty quickly after the last book ended, and it's just got intrigue on every page. Sylvia's chapters are in first person, but the other perspectives have been in third person, which I think is really interesting. Another thing that I'm really loving about this, which is giving me 5-star feels, besides just my absolute love for this world and especially these characters, like I just already feel so at home being here. The big thing that I'm really enjoying is the chapter lengths that we're getting with characters is not even. And I really love that in books. I really like that I don't really remember exactly, but let's say roughly, we spend 2 chapters with Aaron, and then 5 chapters with Sylvia, and then 3 chapters with Sepha, and then we're gonna, like, I don't know if there's gonna be more perspectives than this or not. I am intrigued to find out about that for sure. But I am really excited to see, like, where it goes, but I really appreciate that we're really getting a lot of time with the characters, and we're really seeing, like, what they're going through, what their objectives are, like, where they are, rather than bouncing back and forth. Because, like, I'm so excited now to go back to both of their chapters. Like, I'm wondering, like, what's going on with Aaron now? Like, after we left him, like, what's going on? And I just really appreciate how the chapters are being divided. I really don't like a book where it has to be every other chapter is switching perspective, because sometimes it doesn't feel necessary. And that's been happening in a few duologies I've been reading, and the conclusions have had that back and forth split where it just doesn't feel appropriate, or we are getting enough time with the characters in the situation that they're in. We're not sitting with it enough. And this, oh boy howdy, are we sitting with them, and I really love it. So yeah, this was a really long clip for me to say that I've started my 5-star prediction of the year. I have really high hopes for this. I really need everybody, please, if I can influence you to read a duology. I've already pre-ordered the Illumicrate special edition for this, and it's also going to be getting new dust jackets for both books, and I'm so excited and intrigued to see how all of it's gonna look. I only have seen, like, the cover art with the characters. I love it so much. So I'm very excited to receive that at some point, but I'm tempted. I won't because I don't need to, and I'm usually pretty good about this. I don't like buying duplicate books if I can help it. I bought the special edition, but I'm so tempted to go buy a physical of this when it comes out, just because I love so much and I just want to support more, but I don't need that many copies. My special editions for the first 2 books is enough. It'll get me through. It's not a book that I really annotate. It's just something that I pick up and I read and I kick my little feet, and I wonder if it's gonna make me cry. Yes, so anywho, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to check in, and I kind of scream from the rooftops about my love already starting from this, and it's so soon into the book, but hopefully it continues on this trajectory, and I still love it whenever I check in later. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Made it to the end of the night. I'm cozy in my Mystic Readathon. Fuck. It's been too long, yeah. Mystic Readathon hoodie from last year. And now I get to beat some of the summer saddies. I'm a third of the way in. I'm 200 pages in. She's a chunky book. She's so very big. But it's bringing me joy. I'm loving it. I have no complaints, no further thoughts. I love each perspective that we get every time we jump to a different character. We have 4 perspectives so far, and every time I'm like, yes. Especially because there is like I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like a bond, like a link between characters somewhere along the way, and it's fueling my soul. It's making me so happy and excited. I'm kicking my little feet. It's doing it for me. And I googled something. I did not spoil myself, thank goodness. I did see, though, that somebody posted a review, and they said that this book wrecked them. And I'm very nervous about that now. Like, what do you mean? Am I gonna be okay? I'm preparing myself for some heartache, but I'm also very excited about it. I'm having a really good time. It's going so well. I'm still getting, like, 5-star feelings. Hopefully it comes through by the end. But yeah, third in. I'm loving it. It's so good. I'm hoping to finish this sooner rather than later. This has kind of been my, like, bedtime story on the nights that I work, and now that it's bedtime, it's 10:30 p.m. I need to go to bed because I work tomorrow, but I would like to make further progress into this. I only read 25 pages yesterday, so I probably won't get a lot more read, but if I make a couple percent progress, like, that's progress to me, and I need to count that as a win. I need to call that good. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's my plan. It's nice to be back with characters I'm familiar with in a world that I'm familiar with but also intrigued by. I am so excited for people to come together. Like, are they gonna see each other? They have to see each other at some point. I'm so excited. Okay. I'm off to bed. Good night. Hello. Well, if this is what I think it is, still have 2 books to read for this video, as you can tell by the progression of said video. One of them being the Jisted Crown. It's been a hot minute since we talked about this. I just want to like take my time with it and enjoy the ride. I'm reading it completely on my Kindle. I'm reading the ARC. I'm still reading the ARC, even though it's out. I'm 52%, which, let's go. I'm like proud of myself for that. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. I'm kicking my feet. I'm having a grand old time. I love being with these characters. We're at the 50% mark. There was like a big event that happened, and we got to see our characters coming together in a tangible way, which was so exciting to see. I just love the way that they interact, the way that they know each other. Everything about them. I love it so much. They are one of my favorite couples. So I think this very tattered box from Illumicrate is my special edition. That's probably the other dust jacket, but most importantly, I just put on my makeup. I can't cry right now. Here she is. Oh my goodness. She's so chunky. Okay, well, it's shorter than my edition. The Kindle is 668 pages. God, she's so big. She's beautiful. She matches the original Illumicrate very well. This is the normal dust jacket. No reverse art, because why would they do such a thing? A lot of extra work they're going through. But she matches perfectly. And I just am so happy to have her. I love, I love, I love, I love. I have been very good this year about special editions and purchasing of special editions outside of like, you know, the normal subscription boxes that I always do. Outside of that, just getting editions for funsies that are so this was so expensive. I only have done it really for sequels. Have a lot of the sequels been disappointing and therefore upsetting that I spent so much money on them? Yes. But this one, I don't think is going to disappoint. We're 52%. I'm absolutely obsessed and adoring it, so I don't think that's going to be the issue. Now, I don't think that this has the hype that it deserves. I will keep screaming about how good the series is. I just want everybody to read it, of course. I am kind of surprised that they went back to do alternative dust jackets because I guess the series has gotten that much hype, maybe? I'm not sure. But look at our sweet babies. Okay, well, I'm making this really difficult for you. Can you see them well? I can't tell. I do love them. The character art is so good that I can't not have them on my books. So this is exciting for me. I just really wanted to show this off. I'm very excited. That's my little unboxing for hopefully the next 5-star book I read. You can't see, 142, which is way later than I was planning to check in with you guys, but. So my goal is to finish the last 2 books that I need to read, and we're just gonna try and like pound these out today. My current objective, which I have been slowly working on, which is the Jisted Crown, the sequel to the Jisted Heir. I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably 88% in now, but the issue is I have been raw dogging this read with my eyeballs and nothing else. I'm hoping to get the audiobook sometime soon, and then I think I'm just gonna like binge the audiobook of this, if not maybe both, back to back, so that I can process everything again, because the way I've been reading this since I have been in like a mood, it's just at night when I'm not quite tired but I'm in bed a little bit earlier, I'll read anywhere from 7 to maybe 25 pages, like a very small amount, nothing crazy. I'm really just been taking my time with this. There's many pros and cons to taking a book so slowly. Is I feel like I'm missing some important things because I forget some of the things that were happening because they happened so long ago, and I don't know how to pronounce everything, so I just kind of get confused when words come up again that I haven't seen in a while, and I'm like, am I supposed to remember exactly what that was? And so I just have struggled a little bit with this at some times, but when I love it, I'm loving it, and there's some fantastic moments in this book that just like well and truly have me swooning and obsessed. My plan is to sit here on this darn couch and basically try to finish this. I'm gonna try and lock in. I'm gonna try and finish this. I am enjoying it. I'm happy because we've gotten to see our characters like come together so often, but then also like separate. I wish we saw more of our side characters. I wish that we had a little bit of the things that I loved from the first book influencing the current day a little bit more. But I'm really enjoying the world building and the climax that we are inching towards, and like I'm curious to see like how this is going to play out, because our characters are so stubborn-headed. Like they think that they know everything, and they're just so firm in their beliefs constantly that watching them have these conversations with each other being like, no, I know how this is gonna end. Like, I know how it's gonna go. Don't even like try and tell me otherwise. They're just a little bit hopeless, but in like in an endearing way where it's like I understand their perspective, but there's just moments where I'm like, simply it cannot go the way the character thinks it's gonna go. So what's really gonna happen is kind of where I've been at with the last like 15%. So yes, that's where I'm at. I will check in with you guys hopefully when I'm done. It's currently 1:47. I'm gonna go so I don't ramble too much. And exactly 2 hours later, I've finished. There were a couple choices made that I didn't appreciate, didn't love, didn't think were great, but like meant to happen in certain ways, and I get it, and it's fine. There was a few moments of soft tears, not full crying, but a few tears, some soft no. Not quite as emotionally wrecked as this maybe could have hit at a different time, but still very good. I do wish we got a bit more of an epilogue, but that might just be like the romantasy, craving sweet, tender romances in me, because there's a lot of war and things are sad. And there were 2 back-to-back decisions that just crying from like the way these characters talk about each other and to each other and interact. I was just, it hurts, but it feels nice at the same time. So yeah, I'm happy to have finally finished this. It took a long time, but I'm glad, took me 2 hours to read 12%. So I was half asleep for a little bit. I wanted to take a nap. I persevered. I got a second wind, got excited about things again, so it ended up all working out. But now I'm going to take a little pause break, probably watch a YouTube video and kind of like pause and then jump back into reading, but I don't want to jump straight into the next thing, especially because I know I'm gonna have a lot more things to say about this one, so I want to get a little bit together, you know. But yeah, I really like the Jessica Crown. I'm really excited to do like a reread where I can absorb everything within a day or 3. I am typically a pretty quick reader with books, so I don't like sitting on them for 2 months because it just isn't my preferred way of reading. Like, I want to read things quick and efficiently because I can remember things and I pay more attention, and I'm not often like lost to the story and what's going on. I can remember everything much better when it's fresh in my mind. So I'm excited to revisit and see how I feel. I am teetering between like a 4 and a 5. I think on a reread it'll probably be a 5, something and just like say 4.5 because I loved so much about it, and then bump it up, like leave it a 5 for Goodreads, and then upon my reread really reflect about how I feel. But yeah, I really did like it. I love the characters. I love the decisions that were made. I like the direction that we go. Like, yes, there is this like looming war and like a lot of politics, but I also just love all of the side characters so much, and I truly just like wish out of everything in this book that we had more tender moments between everybody. And thank you to the person in the acknowledgements that said that we needed more Aaron and Sylvia moments in this book, because yes, I fully agreed. Those were some of my favorites. I think that Sarah Hesham is doing a fantastic job. I think this is an incredible debut duology. I am so excited to see where they're gonna go. I truly just cannot wait. This might be a new favorite author of mine, so I cannot wait for their next project. I don't remember if something was announced. Let me look. Yes, that's right. There is going to be a new book, March 31st, Where No Shadow Stays. I have not read anything about it. I don't know. I'm kind of going in blind so far, but I did see that post and I'm so uber excited for it. I cannot wait for it to come on NetGalley. I'm probably going to request it immediately. I'm really excited about this author and like their future in this career path that they've decided to take while also trying to pass the bar. I don't know if they did or not, but if you did, congrats. Yeah, incredible series. One of the best I've read in a while. Finally, a duology sequel that has not incredibly disappointed me this year, like one that holds as strong and as true as the first book. Thank goodness. Hopefully we can continue down this path for the rest of the year, and all duologies and sequels will just be great. I'm gonna take a little break, find something to watch, rest a little bit in a different way, and then I'll jump into Silver Elite and we can talk all about that. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so great. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so as we can see, I've made it a little under 50%, probably more close to a third into Silver Elite. And I'm kind of just planning to breeze through the rest of it and just finish it and then like let you know my thoughts. So I figured now would be the great time to talk about what I think and how I feel. And I know I'm super late to the game. I was supposed to read this in June. You're seeing this video in September. Here we are. So with that said, Silver Elite is Del Rey's or Penguin Random House's version and attempt at Fourth Wing. And you can very clearly feel it throughout this whole thing. It was marketed to be similar to the Hunger Games. And I think when that's said, I think it means she has a similar kind of upbringing to Katniss Everdeen. Like, it is more so, well, she lives on a ranch and she's got a small family and she's just so sad and poor and troubled, but also chosen special one that's like really good at shooting and like small things like that, similar to the Hunger Games. I think more than anything, similar to 1984 by George Orwell, because of the company, which is similar to Big Brother, the big surveillance, but this has a little bit more modern technology into it. More than anything though, I, in my humble opinion, do not sue me, this is not true, I just think, based off what I've seen, this is more closely to the Fourth Wing industry plan pipeline, if you will. If you have read Fourth Wing and you really liked it, and you want something so similar, but if you're wanting that, this will scratch that itch for you. They are so incredibly similar in so many ways, shapes, and forms. Was Fourth Wing also an industry plant? Potentially. Rebecca Yarros never wrote fantasy before, and suddenly we get this insane 5-book fantasy series. It just felt a little strange, but it worked. This has the same propaganda, it's all like military academy, you've got the same friendship dynamics, you've got the same antagonists in the school of like the friends who are snippy and kind of mean, but also like want to maybe kill her, but also maybe kind of want to fuck her, like very complex, but it's incredibly the same. Like if you have read Fourth Wing, you just see so many things that are so similar. Like, yeah, sure, they don't have a character named Xaden, but they do have a character named Xavier. And his name is fucking Cross Redden, which is such a stupid bad name. So if Ren married Cross, which, you know, is like what you should be thinking about with your book's OTP, her name would be Ren Redden. Terrible name. So bad there. I have gone into this a little bit more skeptical and critical than I normally maybe would, just because I have seen so many other videos on this. So I've already seen Carrie's video on this, so I knew what I was getting into, what was going to happen. Should I have spoiled myself? Maybe not, but you know, here we are. It's not ruining my entertainment with the book, but I have seen this video, and I'm so sorry I don't remember the creator's name off the top of my head, but I highly recommend checking this out, where she goes through this book and questions whether or not AI has been used and what she thinks are similar and causes to maybe believe that this could be true. Because as we know, and back to this being an industry plant, Del Rey has chosen an unnamed but yet famous popular author to go under a pen name and be super secretive about it. Has news come out about this? I don't think so. I think they've kept it pretty under wraps, but we don't know who this author is. Is it because they're problematic? Is it because they wanted to create more buzz and controversy and talk around this book? This is sitting at like 88,000 reviews at a 4.05. Like, book is doing very well. It's performing incredibly well. I clearly bought into it. Had I known all the information before the Book of the Month picks came out, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, to be honest, but that's for another story. A part of the controversy and conversation going on around this book, has AI been used? Was Danny Francis actually a popular author? I do believe so, just based off the marketing. I feel like it's hard to say, but I do recommend with Cindy's recent video where she talks about the use of AIs and authors and how they're not disclosing it and how many are wanting to use it versus not. It's kind of concerning. I am obviously, this channel is not pro AI. I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't want anything to do with it, really. I don't think it's good for the environment. I think it's destroying people's brains. I'm like watching my coworkers' children use ChatGPT to like try and finish their homework, and I'm just like, oh god, we're all doomed. Not thriving, not a great time. So I do recommend checking out the video on whether or not Silver Elite falls into potentially AI territory. I'm of the belief that there is probability and chance that that is the case, just based off the certain sentencing structures and whatever's going on. As for my personal thoughts, 192 pages in, almost 200 pages in. This book is so long for no reason. And so that's already an issue for me. It is a carbon copy of Fourth Wing at the end of the day. Like, it is so similar, beats by beats, characters by characters. Like, there are very few things that make me not think about Fourth Wing, which I think is very hard. And it's not to say that that's like a bad thing, but it does feel, if it was used by AI, that it's like, write me a book similar to Fourth Wing type of prompt, because there's just so many things that are similar. And I understand Fourth Wing is a huge hit, commercial success, therefore everybody wants to have a slice of that pie. They want to be a little bit like Fourth Wing. Everybody wants that craze and excitement, and I think you can tell through this book that it doesn't feel quite as genuine as Fourth Wing did, because this book was so hyped and nobody's talking about it anymore. It was a huge thing. Everybody made video essays on it. The controversy was crazy. Everybody was like, oh my god, can you believe? And now no one's really talking about it again, except for me, because I'm late to the party, but here we are. But yeah, my personal thoughts would have to be that this book is fine. It took me 150 pages before I stopped trying to see it through a critical lens, but I'm still constantly thinking about Fourth Wing instead. 150 pages, I like the banter. I can totally understand why people enjoy this. I think that the banter is fun. It does make me smile. I smirk a little bit at like different things that they say, like the sexual tension do be tensioning, so I get why people enjoy this, especially if they're like really into romantasy. It's kind of bland, kind of boring. I don't really care. The world building's a little bit lacking. Like, yes, it is saying stuff about politics, but I think you could be on either side and have takeaways. I still think that there's, like, with it being a military school and being pro-cop, but also like not, it's very confusing how certain people are talked about, and so I can understand either side of political spaces taking this book and like feeling like it fits some of their arguments. I do feel that some of it is pretty relevant to modern day, and so I'm sure it's a little heavy-handed in some of the messaging, but it's there. So I can understand that people are getting something out of this, especially if you are newer into reading and you're still kind of grasping like what you enjoy, or trying to still learn how to critically read a book, and maybe you're typically a turn your brain off type of reader, but you're wanting to learn how to find deeper meaning and stuff. I can't always do that, but this book, it lays it out for you, so I think it's kind of a good entry point into the genre, into fantasy. I think it's doing what it needs to do for young readers. I think that the writing is rather simple. I don't think there's anything special about it. It is very like to the point, but it's not like so bad, because I've read other fantasies where it's like, well, I did this, and then I did that, and then I did that, and then I went and did this, and then over there I did this. And it's like, okay, I get it. So I do think like the show versus tell is fine so far. I think that the writing is just, again, simple. It's very easy to digest. It's not doing too much or too little. It's just, you know, you're getting a lot of those banter moments between her and Cross, because there's always reason for them to see each other. So it's lacking a little bit of organic chemistry or just genuine beats. I obviously, like, I watched Carrie's video where she talks about plot as she's reading it and like spoils things, so I know a lot that's going to happen, and I don't think that's hindering my experience too much, but it is annoying because like, you know that there is this telepathy magic going on between Ren and this boy named Wolf. You know who Wolf is. Like, you can't tell me you don't know who he is very early on, and so it's like, why are we drawing this out so long? Like, why can't we just get to that point and skip half of the school stuff? Because I will be honest, the training isn't that interesting. Like, people don't like her. She's got her small group of friends, the outcasts. Like, it's very cliche in a lot of ways. But the military stuff isn't even exciting. It's like, at least with Fourth Wing, they're riding dragons and dying from the sky. And here, there has been no deaths. There is fighting, because you have to be able to throw a punch. But also, like, she's doing bad on purpose to fly under the radar. But then, like, everybody knows that she's actually kind of good. It's just annoying, I would say. It's a lot of eye rolling. It's a lot of like, why are we doing this? This feels like we're wasting time. We know the point of a romantasy is that you need plot to equal out your romance, so that it's kind of balanced in some ways. But romance at the end of the day is kind of the reason why we're here. Let's get it on. Let's move on with the show. Like, let's just get to the point where they kiss, you know? I'm just like, I'm ready for excitement coming out of this. It's not bad. It's not great. I don't know where my rating will land if I even rate this. It's just, I'm enjoying it enough. Once I turn my brain off enough and just try to enjoy it for what it is, it's fine. I'm not having a bad time. It makes me chuckle when they banter. So, like, I get it. It's fine. That's where I land for now. My last complaint is just like, God, why are we saying hell fuck? I hate it. Also, they say keen so many times, and it's like, who says that anymore? I feel like that's not an American thing, and I don't know if that's even a Canadian thing, and I'm pretty sure this author is Canadian, if I remember correctly. And I'm just like, who says keen this often? Very annoying. But yeah, I think the magic system's fine. I don't really understand it. We know that we have our special main character who does not fit the mold as everybody else does. But I don't fully, like, I don't get it. And that's fine. I don't think the point is for me to fully understand the world building and magic of this all. But with all of this said, I'm not having, like, the worst time ever. I think that it is fine. I'm just kind of, like, ready for other things to happen, especially knowing that they're coming. I'm just like, can we just get to those points? Because that sounds more interesting than what I've read so far, 200 pages in. But yeah, at the end of the day, 200 pages in, I'm having an okay time. I don't really know where I land with all of this. I do believe that AI was used in some capacity. Like, this cover is Adobe stock. The designer did, I think, fine. It's a fine cover, but it's Adobe stock images. Like, it's not, I don't think a lot of money was really put into this book. I think it was kind of just, let's make the next big success. The sequel has had a cover release and a title release. It's going to be Broken Dove, which is, like, her, like, squad name. It's fine. It's hard to hear all of the discourse around this book and, like, form an opinion saying, like, it is objectively, like, good, because I just don't think it is. I think it's an easy read. I think it's entertaining. I think it's doing what it set out to do exactly. But I don't know if that's working for me personally, because I know all this other information of, like, well, maybe it was AI, or it feels inauthentic because it feels like an industry plant type situation where they just wanted a successful book and therefore they kind of puppeteered this to happen. So that's kind of where I land at the end of the day. Like, I don't think that opinion is really going to change. So I'm going to finish the last 3.5 hours of this that I have and let you know, like, final thoughts. If anything has changed by chance, I don't think it will. But if it does, I'll let you know. But that's where I land. And that's my very long, I wanted to talk about this book because it's just fascinating to me. Like, the whole, everything going on behind this is just, it's crazy. So I was just very fascinated, interested, want to talk about it. Here we are. Incredibly long clip in the middle end of this video. I'm gonna go. I gotta go. You might hear some construction. I do apologize if that is the case. They're working on the fence. I finished Silver Elite, and I don't really know exactly where I fall on, like, the camp of, like, hating it or loving it, because I do agree that this is badly written. This is just an abomination is what I'm thinking. The actual word would be a glom... I don't know the word. It's a mix of so many other books that it just lacks creativity and anything unique whatsoever. Like, the entire time I'm going, yeah, this is like all 3 of the Fourth Wing books, like, put into one. Like, there's so many different snippets and, like, literal scenes just pulled out of other books. Like, I saw a scene from Red Rising. I saw a scene from Martyr. I saw a scene from The Hunger Games. People compare this to Powerless and Red Queen all the time, which I have not read either of those yet. They are on hopeful soon-ish TBRs, but haven't read them, so I can't, like, compare yet. But this was just so much of everything else I've already seen and read that it was just uninspiring to read. While at the same time, what is the point of the book, you know? Like, there is some really interesting decisions made by the author who is unknown to us. So it's hard to know where on the political spectrum they might fall and whether or not they're pro or anti the Trump administration. It's really hard to tell. There are so many things, like small things, like this is so gun happy, like so pro gun, which isn't necessarily like the biggest red flag, but you've got this character, JD Vance, who everybody of the command is basically a hero, and we empathize with them and we get to know them and we care for them, whereas the rebellion, we don't really see them and we don't know them. And there was a lot of things that I just, like, weird choice, but okay. This was basically at its heart, and the purpose of it is a romance. It's a romantasy book. It's all about the steam and the characters being together. I don't think this got good until 400 pages in, when we learn the identity of people. Like, that's when it's like, okay, I see what we're doing. I see where we're going. That's when world building starts to happen. That's when action starts to happen. I did not care about, and here's the thing. I actually well and truly love a training montage in a book. I think it's so fun. I love seeing characters fight and learn new skills. I think that's really fun in a book. That's all this really was like fucking and training and military school, jumping out of planes. There was such a lack of world building that it's like, was this really dystopian? Does it really commentate on anything? Because again, I think it's trying to play devil's advocate a little bit too much, where it's like, ooh, you'll never guess which side I'm on, because they want to sell, they want to market. This book just kind of felt like a big old marketing scheme, and it worked. This has been widely successful. There has been absolutely love and adoration for this book, even though I don't quite get it. I feel like I'm talking myself into a 2-star. Initially, I was gonna be like, yeah, it's like 2.5 stars, but I was thinking about bumping it up to a 3, because there are moments where I was able to shut off the critiques in my brain and just like have fun with it. And I liked the characters. I liked the banter between Cross and Ren. There were moments when I liked Cade and Lyd as side characters, but again, like everybody just reminded me so much. Like, got Anson and Ro, who are like the Jack Barlows. Like, it's just too similar to other things. The things that I liked in this book are often the things that I liked in another book, and it just felt too carbon copy. I think I'm talking myself into it too. I'm not saying like you should not like this book. I understand why people do. I'm happy for people who did like this and have found enjoyment in it. If they have taken something away and like something resembled it to them, it felt relevant to the politics in the world right now. Like, I'm happy for you. I did not get that experience, and I am okay with that. I am interested. I'll probably, for simply just like the love of the game, being on YouTube, wanting to be a part of like the hype and know what's going on, I will probably pick up the sequel in May or June when it comes out. I think it being titled Broken Dove is a stupid name. I think giving Ren the nickname Dove when her name is Ren, just to be like, he, her nickname is another bird. It's like, shut the fuck up. There's just some stupid decisions that I was not really for. Please don't eat my camera. But yeah, I felt like this book had too many contradictions within the characters, within the world building. I just was lacking a lot that I personally needed out of this. But if you want a steamy book, if you want a book that is tropey and not really saying too much, but just enough for you feel like and you're getting something, I don't know. I don't want to insult people who like this, so I'm trying to be very careful what I say so I don't come off as a complete asshole. But yeah, basically, if you like this, I'm happy for you. It did not work for me. It was too contradictory. There was just nothing unique in this that made me care. I definitely think that there was some moments that were nice. I think that the action was good. I think the writing is truly just like not great. My hypothesis, because we care about that, before I let you go for the day. I sound like a school teacher, good lord. My hypothesis, based off the acknowledgments in this, I think the author, Danny Francis, whoever their real identity is, definitely straight cis woman, most likely millennial, probably mid to late 20s, potentially early 30s. We already know Canadian and New York Times bestselling author from their previous works. This was marketed as Hunger Games or Katniss for adults. This is a YA book with steam. Truly, well, and truly, like, it's just, it has profanity and it has sex, but it's written like they are children. They are so, Ren is truly one of the stupidest characters I think I've ever read. Just makes bad decisions constantly, and it's like, sure, you can be impulsive and reckless and still have intelligence in you and make like good decisions even if they're reckless. Like, they could still work out, but just the story is telling us who Ren is, but then Ren's actions are completely different, and I was like, you're just not telling me the truth. We're lying to everybody. What was the point of me saying that? Oh no. But yeah, my hypothesis, this author is young. I'm happy that they're having such crazy success. They made so much money off of this book and series. So, like, good for them. Good for Del Rey and Penguin for making their own Fourth Wing major hit. You guys did it. Good job. I don't actually care who Danny Francis is. Like, I don't want to dox them. Whatever their reason for staying anonymous, like, I don't really care unless it's truly, like, J.K. Rowling. If that's what's happened and we all got bamboozled, I'm never reading a Penguin or Del Rey book ever again. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we'll just never know and we can all just be ignorantly blissful. But I do think AI was likely used in some ways. I don't think this was fully written by AI, but I would not be surprised if it was like, they read Powerless, they read Fourth Wing, they've probably read at least the first Red Rising book. They've definitely probably read Hunger Games, or at least have seen the movies, and they are aware of like the Katniss Everdeen shooting at the trials. I clearly haven't read the book, but when they're not paying attention to her and she shoots, hey, please stop stealing your cat food, it's not dinner time. But I'm just saying that this definitely felt like, oh, I've read these things, so how can I taste test from them and be like, I really want these scenes to happen, and how can I bridge the gap in between those moments? And I think potentially the use of AI would have come in from just trying to emulate different scenes or different characters, or just having assistance in things. It kind of feels like the same, like you don't get a straight answer out of AI all the time. So if this was trying to be political and commentate on society, I don't think they understand the world very well. I don't think that they are paying a lot of attention to Gaza and have a strong feel about that. I don't think that they're in one camp or the other when it comes to politics. They would probably claim themselves to be like maybe right-leaning center type of situation, but I just am very fascinated by this book in general and just like the marketing of it all and the way that the publisher went about it, and like having a pen name for this author. I hope that it was like an innocent reason of just trying to distinguish their writing, similar to T. Kingfisher's, also Ursula Vernon. I don't remember her last name. T. Kingfisher's real name is Ursula, and it's just to separate her works, and I think that makes sense. So if that's the case, like whatever, I don't really care. As long as they're not trying to pull one over on the audience, that's when it really would bother me. Those are my final thoughts. I've finally finished. This took me way longer than I thought it would. I was planning to get this video out so much sooner, but I just like had no desire to pick this back up. Like when I was reading it, once I got 50 to 100 page into my reading session with this, like I tried to finish this in about 3 sessions, but whenever I'd put it back down, I was like, I don't really care what happens. I'm not really interested in picking it back up. But when I was in it and I finally like got settled into the story, I was like, fine, we're here. It's a good time. I can understand at those points when people are enjoying this. Hopefully I wasn't too harsh or mean, and I'm sorry if I upset you. I didn't mean to. I just have a lot of thoughts surrounding this book, and so I just wanted to really talk about it with you guys, even though I'm super late to the party. But I just, yeah, it's fascinating. Now there's like the drama with Audra Winters, and so like I'm just too online, I think. And here we are. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it to the end, leave a dove emoji in the comments down below, because you saw me read Silver Elite, finally. And I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!